All right, I'd like to call the Northwood Board of Selectmen's meeting to order on December 11th, 2018 at 6 p.m. Roll call, Donald Hush and I, mean here. Oh, wow.
Beth Boudreau here.
Scott Pryor here.
Would one of the Boy Scouts like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, so it looks like we don't have any public hearings, so we're going to move right on to Citizens Forum. Is anybody here for Citizens Forum? Step right up, please state your name, please.
Hey, that's our, is that our executive council?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Ted Gatsis. I live in Manchester, New Hampshire, and I'm the newly elected executive councilor that represents this district. So I'm here, as I told you I would be the last time if I was elected, to give you all a card and tell you that certainly I would address any problems that you may have or answer any questions that you might have. So I have cards for everybody, and does anybody have a question for me?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions. You have any?
Not right now.
Maybe in the future.
I noticed you were talking about the Department of Labor. You may want to get your counselor involved, and maybe
Yeah.
you can get that penalty withdrawn. So thank you very much, and I'll give everybody...
Actually,
Well, now that you said.
now that you said it, can we make you a copy of that?
Sure.
Thank you for venturing all the way here.
Yeah, go get it.
I apologize for eavesdropping.
That's okay. It's
No, keep them on.
it's public information, so you're not really eavesdropping. I'm Donald Hush, since we met before.
Yeah.
We need like a little
You too.
card thing, you know, like a card thing. We could put our cards in and our little.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Get on that.
Me too.
Do you want me to order some?
I want you.
We have cards.
What?
Put this in my phone. I know people now.
Yeah. So you could put all your cards right in the pocket.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just for that, I'll let you have one more cookie. Just kidding. All right. Anybody else? Citizens Forum. All right. Seeing none, we'll move right on to our first order of business, I guess. Gary Thornton, are you here? I'm here. Come on up. You are first.
Who do I get back to in regards to this?
She's making a
She's making you a copy right now.
So who do I call back here?
Oh, that would be Sandy for
It'll be
now.
Sandy for now, because our intern town
Sandy, do
administrator
you
will
have
be...
one of your business cards that you could give the council?
We'll wait a few minutes to start with
Yes.
him. You come in. You can borrow mine. I can cheat off of both of you.
Thank
I'll
you.
cheat off of both of you. Wow, that seat
I know.
went way
I
down.
didn't wind up
Like
high.
lowrider.
I don't want to be like a 4-year-old.
Lowrider. I think that was the broken one. Thank you very much.
Have a good
Thank
night,
you.
sir.
Have a good evening. I'll get back to you on this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Safe travel home.
Thought I'd say here so I don't have my back to
Okay.
your constituents.
Sure they appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to come and go over the report, certainly with the select board and other interested parties. I'll preface my remarks by saying, this is a work in progress, if you will. If you've had the chance to look at the report, there's some initial feedback that's come from the interim town administrator and certainly the finance HR director that we'll take into consideration. I prepared a handout more to keep me focused, if you will. I don't want to go off track and affect other business which you have on your agenda today. What I'd like to do is give you an executive summary, if you will. My understanding is that you have some questions for me, and I'd like to allow time for that as well. The first order of business is, the analysis behind the review, and this is to refresh certainly the Select Board and other interested parties. Why did we do this study in the first place? And it's more a reality and certainly in our practice, a straight face test, if you will, to determine, among other things, that the total compensation plan, both pay and benefits, how it compares to a select peer group that we surveyed during the process. On page 7 of the report, and I don't, again, I'd like to offer time on
See on page 7?
page 7, starts the review of benefits, how you compare to the peer group that we surveyed. And a reminder, we went out to initially created a list of peer communities that the consultants were offering up as possible municipalities or towns that we wanted to survey based on feedback from the then town administrator and the select board. We finalized that list and got it down to, I believe, maybe 20 peer communities that we went after. We had a 70% response rate to our survey, which by our standards and our practice is a good representative response. So page 7 starts the benefits review, and by and large, with some exceptions, you'll see that we've compared what we call best practices to our peer communities that we surveyed and those that responded to what we understand, the consultants understand, to be the current benefit practices, if you will, for the town of Northwood employees. We'll talk a little bit about the financial impact, and I suspect that's where some of, if not all, your questions will focus on, and that's on page 30. And again, I developed a pro forma budget, if you will, only to give you a sense, not to determine what your budget should be. Obviously, that's not in my purview, but to give you a sense of what it would cost to implement the changes, or the recommendations coming out of the survey. And finally, aside from the questions, the next steps that we would recommend as your advisors going forward, so that this study can be implemented and have some shelf life beyond this budget cycle, which is key to a successful study, in our opinion. Sure.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I was asking DJ.
Go ahead. Absolutely, Ted. That's
So,
what this is all about.
I know.
Yeah.
So we're on page 30. So is it my understanding that in order to, is this how much the cost would be to implement? Is this the page you said would be cost to implement this plan?
Yeah. Well, again, it's a pro forma. The
Yeah.
qualifier is, it's based on our review, and if I wasn't clear, I've received some preliminary feedback from Sandy and the interim TA that although we benchmarked wages against that peer community that we all agreed were the right community to survey, the jobs, that's the external piece, if you will.
Okay.
Okay. The the internal equity piece is so important. You know, am I recommending, with all due respect to the recreation director, that you pass a $13,000 raise to him? Well, I think that would be a hard sell. There's something in that particular position, again, with all due respect to the recreation director, if they're in the audience, that doesn't line up with our peer communities.
So, when you looked at the peer communities for recreation, were most of those communities, like, in this town, it's currently like a part-time rec directed. Were you looking at a mix of part-time and full-time? Could you elaborate on that a little bit? I know what towns you looked at, but
Yeah.
what was your experience, more full-time or part-time?
Full-time.
Okay.
Yeah. And therein could be the reason why there's such disparity in pay.
We probably have more programming as well.
Yeah, exactly.
There's more responsibilities because they're here more.
Right. So I only mention that, sir, because I would like to answer your questions. I would like to do the pick and shovel work, certainly with Sandy, as to, you know, have I slotted these positions correctly? I would argue that I've done that externally, but I may not have taken into account the internal equity piece, which is also important.
Now, another question is, I noticed that you had the beach coordinator in here, but you didn't have the lifeguards.
Yeah.
And what I was curious about was, because I'd like to get in that, if it's possible, would be able to get that data of what these towns are paying their lifeguards.
Yeah. Excuse me for one moment while I refresh my memory. We asked, in our custom survey, we asked for the position called lifeguard.
Yeah.
And in our opinion, if we have less than 5 responses for any particular position, it's deemed not statistically significant. Now, I can certainly give you those numbers.
So you did get responses to lifeguards, but you didn't get what you thought would be adequate data to put that into your.
Yeah, at least 5 responses. And I could also, let me make notes as I go here, I don't mean to derail things.
Well, I was just curious, because what we've been noticing in the summertime, we do get lifeguards, but some, had some experience that we have trouble, actually, I think because they can make more money doing something else. A lot of these college kids come in and they can make more than we pay for salaries for the lifeguards. So I was just trying to figure out what our neighboring communities were, if that data is available.
Yeah, well, if not from our survey, I certainly have it in our database because we do a lot of studies, and I'm happy to provide that to you, and I'll provide it through Sandy, and along with other data requests that may come up tonight. Okay. Keep going on my agenda.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry,
No,
I'll save,
no.
it would be easier if I saved the questions till the end, or?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
So, yeah, I guess I was gonna ask you, so, I actually read this whole thing, about, I don't know, I'd say about 2 weeks ago, and one of the questions I had was, could I take all our current, for the most part, if I took all our current positions, and what you're saying is if I matched them to your new matrix, I call it a matrix, if I match them to that new schedule, matrix or whatever, you're saying if I was to put everybody where they should be, that your estimate would be $50,000?
Yeah, again, with a qualifier, something is askew with certainly recreation and transfer station.
Yes, that's what we were just looking at, that actually.
Right, and in some instances, you know, I work with positions, not employees, so I don't know the stories.
No, we just keep it to the position.
Yeah, so transfer station, recreation, and in multiple incumbent positions, there's a couple of police officers that aren't lining up. There may be a reason, but again, to answer your question, yes. And to be perfectly clear, What I've done is take the 50th percentile, the median of our wage survey data, and slotted it in the recommended wage matrix, if you will, somewhere around step 5, step 6.
Okay, so this is my question.
Yeah.
This is where I'm trying, because I would like to get all the employees into this, like, once we finalize this. So you're saying I could probably fit everybody in there, but maybe I couldn't put them at step 5, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if we wanted to put them in this thing just to get them into this new pay scale, you could bring them in at, like, say, step 2.
Yeah.
But your assumption was that all the employees that are currently here would come in at about a step 5, is that? So if we were to, like, bring them in at, like, if I wanted to bring them in at the closest hourly rate, that just be making a little bit more than they're making now, that probably wouldn't cost $50,000.
No, it wouldn't.
It'd be a lot cheaper to get, like, that's all I'm trying to get, because I think if we could implement this without it being a heavy cost to the taxpayers, I'd like to try to do this in this upcoming year.
Yeah.
I think the biggest ones, if you look at them, the biggest ones are the rec.
Yeah,
That one's a $13,000 increase.
yeah.
The transfer station attendant, both of them together, is
What,
almost
what
11,000.
page you on, please?
29.
29?
The transfer station, if you add up the 2 increases, it's about 11,000 total together. And then if you add the rec director at 14, right here,
Yeah.
it gives you the total. You add them together, it's roughly 11. And then you add the 14, so there's
But if you
25
brought them in at, like,
25
on the
right there.
proposed, if I brought them in at a grade 15, like, step,
You'd have to go way down to get close to that.
well, no, but he's getting that now, but what I'm saying is, he's suggesting step 6, right? So if you were to look at,
Those wages.
the wage, what page of the actual matrix on?
Before it. Way before it. Labor grade, what was that?
So he's recommending that, for example, in this, he's recommending that,
Labor grade 14.
So what would it?
let's use the transfer station.
Labor grade what?
15.
Labor grade 13.
He's suggesting, labor grade 15. So if I over there and I look at labor grade 15 on page,
Step 1 is still $6 more an hour.
all right, okay. All right,
You know, let me say, in a perfect world, you know, you to recognize service of your employees, you'd put them at the same step that they're currently at, which would really be a budget buster.
oh, yeah, if I put him, yeah, that would be, phew,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, and let me say, I've also applied, which may or may not be what you want to do for budget purposes,
Yeah.
a 3% cost of living adjustment.
I think we do that every year. You know, we're doing that this year. We're not doing that
Those go out on a warrant. With
That's
those-
actually put on a warrant.
We don't do those.
this year. We don't have control of that.
Yeah,
We haven't done it for 3 years.
that's on, that cost is on page 30 as well. That's a, you know, a $36,000 net. But yes, yeah, we can do, you know, I can work with Sandy to do,
Yeah, so if I could take
you
their
want.
current, what they're currently getting and try and fit them in to the step that's more in line, you know what I'm trying to say?
I do.
So don't bring them in all at step 5, but if one's like, because it looks like a lot of these, even step 1s, it's gonna give them a bump on some of these positions.
So that I'm clear, I should apply the 3% cost of living adjustment, look at that wage effect, and slot that.
Well, we can't give it 3% because we didn't do a warrant article to give it 3%.
Right, COLAs go on a warrant, our steps are 3%, so if you embedded the 3% with the step, that's actually 6%, and we can't do that.
Okay.
COLA has to be on a
So
warrant for
we
council.
probably would want you to bring it back to this year's hourly rates without the 3%. Would that be pretty easy to do?
Yeah, but it's on there. I have the 2000,
So, but like, for example, on my, on the salary schedule here, on page 24, that all those numbers are including a 3% step, right?
correct.
Okay.
Which is fine.
which, well, no,
The
but.
steps are fine. It's the
No, no,
COLA on
so,
top.
I mean, he's saying it's a 3% COLA. I said step, I meant COLA.
I have a question. This goes back to what Scott said. So what stops us from saying we want to put, say, the transfer station at, say, a labor grade 10, step 1 instead of a labor grade 14, step 6? Are we allowed to make that decision on our own?
Of course we are.
We are. I didn't
But
know.
my thought is,
So that would be closer to the rate of pay, that's what I'm.
yeah, but
that's
what I'm
asking.
actually thinking is, the problem is that, the reason we don't get applicants is because,
Well, it would
truthfully,
still be an increase in pay.
I know what I'm saying is that we might not, I think we need to look at this closely and then,
Oh, I agree.
because there are definitely a couple positions in town that are underpaid. And I think there's some that we can fit them right in here, but there's some that we should give a bump because they are definitely being underpaid. That's why you're not getting a lot of applicants.
True, very true.
On that now.
Yeah, no. Just so I'm clear, there's two pillars, if you will. The
Yeah.
external equity piece is we went out and asked the towns, what do you pay for transfer station?
Yeah.
And then there's the internal piece, which is as important, if not more important.
Because some towns have more responsibilities, some towns make their transfer station do more, that's
Some
why
are
they get
open
paid more.
5 days a week as well.
Yeah, and that's why they get paid more.
Yeah, and if I could, to be clear, I don't mean to refer to you by name, a finance HR director in this town has the HR responsibility, which we didn't see generally in the other communities.
Right.
And also has, in my opinion, from looking at it, administrative responsibilities that we don't see in other towns.
Right.
So,
It goes both ways.
it goes both ways.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
that's why that number looks so
Yeah.
much different.
if I could be clear. So the takeaway for me is to look at and look to Sandy to make sure I'm clear. The column called 2019 hourly wage, right, on page 30, just for example, that column. And approximate that, for instance, the recreation director, 1646. So I should look at the recommended pay matrix and approximate as close I can 1626. If it's 1675, then the difference is.
Yeah, I'm okay with something like
course.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with even bumping it up another, like $1 or $2, but I can't see jumping $9.
Well, he's
One
talking
lump
about,
sum.
for example, right now, the recreation, here's a good example, because it's not too far. The rec director, and that's including the 3% COLA, right? Sir?
Yes.
So you're recommending 1646, but then you're saying bring it in at 2527. So if I go to 18, the 2527 is actually, looks like it's step 6. But why would, and a lot of it depends on experience and so forth, but
We could start at step 1.
you started at step 1, that'd be 2180. And I do agree, maybe the rec director is probably a little underpaid, but I don't think I'd bring it up to that $25 an hour.
I think if we had someone with some crazy experience, you might be able to pay him $21 an hour,
They'll be
maybe.
able to implement.
Yeah,
like,
if we
amazing
had
program.
somebody that had amazing experience.
So I guess what I would recommend is that if we all agree, maybe we should take that 3% out of the calculation,
Okay,
because we would need to put a warrant article in, and we haven't discussed that yet.
okay.
So take that 3% out and see what the rates would be without the 3%. And then you had a couple of things you're working with them to resolve, like, yeah, and if possible, if I could get the lifeguard data, even if it's like, just to give us an idea.
Yeah?
Routine, that's awful close to like an admin position. It's not really an admin position. I'm okay with more down there.
think the rest looks good. There's just a few that are so off that we have to discuss. The rest are fairly close. It's just a couple positions that are drastically off.
So I'm just looking like, let's look at firefighter, EMT, fire inspector.
Okay.
So currently, so
Okay.
you're actually on that one, it looks like you recommend, I mean, I'm just, for discussion purposes, their current salary with the 3%, I'm assuming, is 1888, if they were on the current pay scale. On page 29.
Yeah,
Yep.
so then really we're.
So when you're looking, you're saying on the proposal, you're saying that that should really be 1710? Is that what you're saying, that that's being paid
See, then I
slightly?
guess I don't understand how you,
How some of our
how an
positions-
EMT firefighter would be on a labor grade, step 10, yet a rec person.
Yeah, I don't
would be
understand how.
18.
Yeah, how a firefighter would be paid less than, or a
And then-
transfer
and then
station
an admin would be
attendant.
19, I guess, I think that's where I'm
I mean,
kind
a
of like.
firefighter being paid
Yeah.
more than a transfer station attendant doesn't seem
Right,
like.
I don't know, it's-
Yeah, being paid more than a firefighter.
I look at
Doesn't
18
seem
being very
feasible.
close to admin, then, right, and then
That doesn't
transfer
seem
station,
feasible.
not that it's not a
I mean, I'm
responsible
just
job, but
curious.
firefighter's a little more responsible.
Yeah, again, the nuances between the communities we surveyed. Are they,
Right.
are they call, are they,
So you're saying we call versus for like full-time?
that's probably the
All right.
case.
All right.
All right. We have any more questions?
Now, did you have anything else you were gonna go over, or was that?
No, my purpose tonight was to try to answer your questions, and I will say, this is a work in progress. I recognize that
Yes.
you're in transition here, and I'll do whatever I can
No, we're doing, I think,
to get you to a point where you can make your,
I actually,
I think we're heading in the right direction. I think we just gotta make a few tweaks
I
here and
actually
there.
read the whole thing, and I actually think this is a very good start. I think, I was actually thought it was very good after
just
I
have
read
to
the whole
tweak a few
thing.
things
There was
here
a
and there.
couple of positions I was concerned with, but for the most part, I think it's
Reasonable.
reasonable. Just there was a couple positions I thought might be a little out of whack. So overall, I thought it was good.
That's it? Anything else?
No.
Beth, you got anything?
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you
coming.
for coming.
You're welcome.
And
For
helping
sure.
us
For all your hard
understand a
work.
little more.
Okay, so, how do you guys feel? Our next appointment is until 7. Would you like to do the, non-public now?
Whatever you would like there, Mr. Chairman.
I think we should do, let's do the non-public with the fire station now.
Okay.
And maybe we can squeeze in John if we can get him in before 7 or not.
Can we have,
Is
can we have a
yours-
minute of non-public before we have anybody in here? Just so-
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, we can do it. I just know we have a half an hour before our next meeting, so we can try to at least fit one of the two in.
Thank you again, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy holidays to
Yeah,
everyone.
Thank you,
on.
you too.
So,
Me this year.
I'd like to entertain a motion to go into non-public.
I'd like to go into, make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A:3, 2, A for personnel and B for hiring a public employee.
Just for anybody that wants to stay, we are coming back out of non-public and having a further meeting, but it's mostly just tight button-up stuff. I'm guessing he's here for school. Huh?
For Scott.
Yeah, this, we won't.
Actually, what he did, what you guys did already is.
All right, we don't want to make him hang out any longer than he has to.
And he said, then they did blah, 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 blah. Thank you, you too.
Can you shut the door? Roll call, Dahl Hush and I, sorry.
Scott Breyer, I vote yes.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
We're now in non-public.
I'd like to make a motion to come out of non-public session.
Second.
Roll call, Donald Hush and I.
Scott Breyer, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
Okay, 3-1.
You want to make a motion to seal minutes?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none? Call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we are here for our 7:05. We were a little bit late, but not too bad for Jim
Can I
Valancourt.
say a couple things related to this? So, Jim talked to me on Saturday at Budget Committee, and I think this trust fund thing, these trustees shouldn't have to be going through this aggravation.
What kind of aggravation are they going through?
Well,
I don't know what they're
basically,
going through.
the trust fund, Wells Fargo and Fidelity are holding approximately 100,000, is it 100,
177,000.
between the two of them?
Yes.
177,000.
Okay, and it's really gotten out of hand.
So they won't let us take it?
Well, no, I wanna, my suggestion is that we get legal counsel and actually tell them that, give advice from them, but
Allow the trustees
I
of trust fund to give
think,
advice?
no, I think we need to go to court. And I'll let Jim continue. You a trustee?
These are all the these
Oh
are my
my
other two
God.
trustees. Betsy and
I wonder why we're going to court,
Betsy
huh?
Colbert.
We gotta
Just kidding.
Could that be stricken from the record?
No, I'm
Let the
kidding.
record show a point.
But my point is, I want
I
to
wouldn't
make
have brought
sure.
him if I'd known
I
that.
want to make. No, I've known him for a while. It's all good. I want to make sure that they get legal representation. I want the attorney to clearly. I guess I'll put this out here. Obviously, Jim, you gotta. All kidding aside, we can't talk endlessly to the attorney, but I think we need to go and say, we need to move forward with this, and we need to get the town's monies back from these companies.
Okay.
And I don't, also my understanding that they're asking former trustees that are well into their, I'll just say, their retirement years, to actually come down and sign affidavits, and I don't think that's right to have these people, the people that have volunteered for the town that are no longer doing this, to get dragged into this. So I want to make sure that we give Jim and the trustees the resources they need to do their job and not be getting frustrated and spinning their wheels.
Do you need to make that a motion, or?
I'm gonna let Jim talk now.
Okay. I don't know
Because
if
he
you had
has
to
some
make that.
concerns. I just wanted to set the tone.
I wasn't sure if we needed to make that as a motion.
No, we gotta hear what he wants to say, but yeah, we probably do.
Well, I appreciate the time on your agenda. We're back tonight to basically tell you that we don't feel that the lawyer process is working because the funds are still stuck there and we can't get them out. And as Scott has already told you, they're now suggesting that we bring the two living former trustees to the bank for a medallion guarantee. And as you pointed out, they are getting on in the years, and we feel that that is unreasonable and next to impossible to do. We have checked, and the bank might be willing to go to them, but we still think that is unreasonable because we're not convinced, and we feel guilty that they are not really cognitively aware of what we're asking them to do, and we don't think that's fair. We wouldn't want it done to us, and we certainly don't want it to do to somebody else. So, getting them involved we think is the wrong avenue to take, and that the lawyers need to talk. And we also don't feel that the lawyer, our town lawyer, has talked to the lawyers at Fidelity or Wells
So
Fargo.
what I'd like to do is, I would like to make a motion to, I would like the interim town administrator or finance director to take the lead on this. I would like you to contact council, and the selectmen said that they want to know why aren't we proceeding with getting the town's money back? Is that, I would like to make a motion.
Seconded
to,
by Beth.
And let me finish. To just start, like, let's get to this and try to get this resolved.
Okay. I will shoot her an email
Any
tomorrow.
more discussion? Any discussion?
Well, I love email, but maybe it's time to pick up the phone.
Well, I will, but I want it backed up in
I
an
know.
email for
What I'm
writing.
saying is actually get somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
Because I find a lot of times when you actually call somebody and say, hey, what, I'll be honest to you, when he told me what had happened, I almost called the lawyer myself. But I says, no, I'm gonna wait till the board meeting and discuss it as a board.
Okay.
But, somebody needs to get on the phone with, our attorney and find out, how do we get this resolved? And we need to, because
get it
basically
resolved
tell them
quickly.
that they have 170,000 of the town's money that we do not have access to. Is that safe to say?
Yes, it is.
So I want it resolved.
And it's still both entities, Wells
did we
Fargo
take a
and
vote on that?
Fidelity?
We haven't yet, we're still in discussion.
Okay, sorry, I'll
Still in
shut up.
discussion, that's fine.
Can I get a point of clarification, Mr. Chairman? It's both Fidelity and Wells Fargo still?
Yes, we have two accounts at
How much is
Fidelity,
Wells Fargo?
75,000.
Okay, 75 with Wells Fargo.
And we have two accounts at Fidelity, 39 and 63, so 102.
And they're in the town's name.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
To the best of our knowledge, it appears to be
Okay.
the town's name.
Okay.
To the best of our knowledge, they're in the town's name with an EIN number that the IRS doesn't recognize.
Okay. Also, I'd like to amend my motion. I would like to make sure that that EIN number is switched to the town's EIN number.
We've done that.
Oh, you have done that? So they're on the town of Northwood's tax identification number.
Well, the current accounts are not, right?
The current ones, that's what we've sent them, yes,
But
because the other one does
at
not
Wells-
exist.
The Wells, with Wells Fargo and Fidelity was my understanding that they might not have a correct number.
Right, those are under the incorrect tax ID, and so what we're trying, they won't give us access to it to change the tax ID or change the name or anything, so what we wanna do is
So
basically
what
close those.
I wanted to get that out into the discussion that we can't even get them to do anything. It's kind of concerning to me because we're talking $170,000. That's, to me, that's unacceptable. And I want it
Can I
fixed.
get together with one of you tomorrow, because I need some information that I want to present to the attorney. One of them is the EI number that they're under, because they're going to ask us what that is, and we need to know what that number, okay, so we'll meet tomorrow.
Well, all you're gonna, yeah, but you're gonna need, we know what the town wants.
I know the town one, it's the one that they're
Are
under.
we,
that
are
I
we
know.
okay to move,
That's
take
the
a
one
vote
we're
on
under,
this?
the town.
Yes, I'm done.
Town is what we,
But they have the old, that old expired tax ID.
right.
But the new,
So she just
the
needs
one
that.
we're trying to get it under is the one that's the town, Sandy's, the
But
one that Sandy has.
she probably needs the one that you're trying to get off.
Right, because they're going to ask us what that, they're going to ask the attorney what that
Which
number
has
is.
been
And if she
That
can't
ended with
identify it-
IRS. I spent it, the old one is no longer recognized by IRS.
But
I
Wells Fargo
understand.
and Fidelity
They're
have.
gonna want, they're gonna ask
But they're
what
going
it
to ask
is.
the attorney to be able to identify it under that number, and if she doesn't have the number, she can't.
You can provide it with
And
that?
maybe
Yeah, okay.
find out if the attorney has reached out to them. You know, maybe they have and they're not responding to our attorney. And if they're not responding to our attorney, what's the next step?
Well, I know, I can only say from in the
Alright, let me
past when they
call
were
for
in
a
here.
vote.
We're gonna call for a
Let me
vote.
call for a vote, then we can discuss further, okay? I'm gonna call for the vote on the original motions, so we don't forget. Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0, now we can go on to a regular discussion without forgetting to call for a vote. Go ahead.
I do know that in the past, we had discussed that there was like a 3, maybe a 4-week lag that she hadn't heard back from any of them. And then the interim got back on the phone with the attorney, she reached back out to him, and I don't know where that went, whether she has heard back. I do know that there was a month there, Jim, when nobody heard anything from him.
Right. So we need to get
So we
on
need
it.
to get,
So
we need to find out.
We need to be,
On
Yeah.
top of this.
Yeah.
we need to push a little more.
Okay.
Well, a lot more, I think.
Okay. The last point that I want to make is that I've had conversations with the Attorney General, and the Attorney General believes that it should not be the responsibility of the three of us to make this happen. It should be the lawyer, and obviously
Well,
you
we
agree with
clearly-
that.
I clearly agree that the
All right.
town needs,
The-
that we'll help you. We are gonna make, we're
Right.
gonna fix, well,
We're gonna attempt
we're
to.
gonna, no, we're gonna fix this.
Now, the point that I wanted to make is that the Attorney General told me a legal plan,
Yeah, I know.
and I don't want to discuss that in public.
No.
And what I would like to put in public is that we need to have our lawyer talk to the Attorney General,
Okay. We can do that.
the charitable trust
Charitable trust section of the
section
Attorney
of the Attorney General's
General's office.
office, and discuss that plan. I don't think it does anybody any good to discuss it in
And
public.
Are you saying that you
maybe
need
it
to-
might be a good idea to start with the Attorney General. That might be your first call.
So you're saying we need to schedule some non-public time with you at another date to discuss this?
No, not really. I think she knows we gave her
I'm just asking.
the authority to push the attorney to do it.
All right.
I don't feel that we need that.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Until the lawyer comes back and says, here's the game plan.
Okay.
You know, when
Yep,
Coach
no, I agree. I
Belichick lays
just
out
wanted
the game plan, then we should
Alright.
talk about that
Alright.
together, and we may have to do that in non-public.
Okay.
All right.
But I conjecture, it's a waste, I think.
All right, until we have what we need to do.
Yeah,
We have a
till we
plan.
have the game plan.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else?
I think that's
Cool.
awesome. Yes.
Anything?
Way to go.
Thank you for
Thank you for your time.
hours and
That
hours.
satisfies, that's what you're happy we're going in this direction that resolves your issue for the short term.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that personally, because of, how much I pay attention to the town budget, is that should we put money into the budget for next year? Should we go back to should the town go back to the budget committee and say, look, this event has come up and we need to up that
I think you
amount?
might,
Talking to your lawyer, the attorney piece?
I think you ask the attorney, when you call the attorney, ask her if she can give us an estimate of how much she thinks this is gonna cost to litigate.
We may have to do that. You may have to do what you just said.
Or we overspend the line as long as we don't overspend the budget.
Yes, we can do that
Don't
too.
remember, you can overspend the line, you just can't overspend the budget. I can't see this costing more than a couple $1,000s. I could be completely wrong.
Just personally, I'm not a chair right now, I took my hat off. Okay? Personally, I would feel guilty if I didn't say this.
Yep.
And I come to find out in June, the bill comes in.
And it's way more.
And okay, we can't do this, which we plan to do, because we have to take that money to do
I get what you're saying.
I feel guilty.
Yep.
So I just put it out there, and if it's $2,000 and you can handle that, you know that better than I do.
I don't know, but
No,
I can't.
if it is.
I can't see. I don't see this. I don't see this going any further than some aggressive letters to Fidelity and Wells Fargo saying, and maybe go to the point of actually filing the paperwork that we're taking them to court.
And then
Because the next thing they know is if we take them to court in New Hampshire, then they have to come here and, well, they are in Merrimack, but Wells Fargo isn't. So,
Okay, cool. I appreciate your time.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we're gonna move on to new business, accepting of minutes. What dates
What's the
do we
minutes
have?
we got?
You have 3 sets.
Okay,
Yep.
so how come we don't?
Yes,
list
can we
that?
start
Can we
doing that
start
again?
getting out, minutes?
What dates?
Actually, I got a couple comments I'll make on this, section.
Okay.
And I understand that times are tough. I appreciate the email of the minutes.
Yep.
But I would like to start getting my packets again so I
Yes,
can look
me
at the
too.
stuff over the weekend.
Yes, me
So if
too.
you could start mailing somebody mail our packets out on Thursday or Friday.
Tammy wants them put together on Friday, because
Yeah,
that's the day she's
but
here.
I just want to let everybody know.
she's
and
only
I
got a few more Fridays, so-
Yeah, I understand that we have limited resources, but we have not gotten a packet for some time now. And I would like to start to get my packets.
Okay. So
We're gonna have to have them shipped out before Friday for us to get them in time anyways.
they'll have to go out in Friday's mail.
Yeah.
She's here on Fridays.
Okay.
Okay. So we have 3 sets. I've noted that.
Can we start,
So
the other thing,
just,
can we
you
do-
make the motion for us. What's the ones you want to approve?
That the board approve the motion to accept the minutes as written for November 13th, 2018 Selectmen meeting. Minutes of
Do
November 19th.
one at a time. So moved.
These times are wrong. Second.
call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
No, they're not, because we started early once, because we had.
Yeah, but we didn't start early last.
Okay, what's the next one?
We started early.
Motion to approve the Board of Selectmen minutes for November 19th, 2018 as written.
So moved. Beth?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have none.
Okay, what's the next one?
Motion to accept the Board of Selectmen minutes from November 27th, 2018 meeting as written.
So moved.
Any discussion? See none, call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Can I just make a point of, to save that, if you put the dates next to here, when you do it, that would save us a little, I don't know who puts this together.
Okay.
Can I make a suggestion? Sure. Before, Mr. Chairman? Sure. Could we, I know Greg's here to discuss the fire station.
You want to move to that?
Well, I don't think we should make him sit here all night.
All right, we can
We
move
also
to
have
that.
Gail Toby waiting for something too.
Right, we have
Really?
Toby's here
Yes.
with, remember the letter?
All right, I didn't know they were both here for,
I knew Greg was here, okay.
I didn't know he
so
was an appointment.
Could we do the appointments and then go back to our regular business?
Sure.
So who's,
so
You
Greg,
want first?
Greg's
come on
gonna
up,
come
Greg.
up.
I didn't see Gail Toby on here. She's not on mine.
Yeah, it came in this afternoon, and I told her I'd propose
Okay.
it to you for time
No,
constraint.
I didn't have a problem. I just didn't know she was on. All right, let's go quick here.
So my understanding is that you have some background on what we actually need to get
For the CPAC.
the CPACs.
CPACs.
We have a couple of, what are they?
Lease purchase?
Lease purchase quotes.
Okay.
Yep. We ended up, you tried to get 4.
I tried to get 4.
I asked the two.
I'm fine with 3.
I asked the two Sandys to help me, and they both did a great job helping me get that. And they put a lot of work into it, and they got the 3 quotes came back. One company didn't.
What's your,
request.
what's your do you have the
Yeah.
packets?
Yeah, you guys all have a copy. My recommendation.
Hold on a second.
I do. Where?
Sandy, would you come to the tape? Can I ask you?
Yeah, but we didn't get packets.
We don't have a copy. I
You
didn't get a
guys
copy.
had packets? Is it in your folder? Oh, we have it. Where'd they go? We made copies
Well, we didn't hand them out.
last week. Okay, well, you can take a look at mine.
Well, no, I think this is kind of big, we need copies.
Yeah, there was, Trinity, would you go make?
That's why I'm saying we don't get packets.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
we
why.
made all these
Well, you
copies.
made them, but we didn't get them.
I don't know where they went.
Yeah, we definitely need to get back the packets. Definitely get
All right,
packets.
well, can you make 4 copies real quick? please?
Thank you, Trinity.
Trinity, you just have to do the cover page, and we can look at the backup later.
All right. So we can
So-
continue to talk anyways.
So as requested at the Budget Committee meeting, I was requested to come back here, and I was requested to look into lease purchasing. We did that with the help of Sandy and Sandy. We have 3 quotes. I also called our manufacturer, the pack company that we're looking to go with, and he sent me a company. And from what I've heard, that company gives us the best offer.
Tax exempt leasing is the best option.
Now, what do they offer?
Well, what are you doing?
Now-
Yeah, so let's get the sheet, but, I asked for 3 years and 5 years, right? Or did you do
Lease
5?
Said 5.
All right, I said 5, I probably did.
I think you did.
So, because I think to divide 250 up in 3 years is a big pill to swallow.
Well,
Or 5, it wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
it's actually,
And that was the other issue.
it's actually 187.7 that I went out to quote for because the quotes on the back,
We're cheaper?
no, the actual tanks, the air packs,
Yeah.
the quote they gave us was 150,830, and then the Cascade, Greg?
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Is 36,870.
So why were we talking 250,000?
I don't know, that's why I was annoyed at the Budget Committee meeting, because you guys wouldn't let me speak, and you guys kept throwing numbers around. And
Well, that was chairman.
I
that wasn't
understand,
me.
no, I understand. And you guys kept throwing numbers around, and I know we discussed that with the safety complex, that we haven't thrown any numbers out there, because we don't want that in anyone's head.
All right,
Right.
so we're asking for $187,700
Yes.
Yes.
divided by 5 years with a 3.9, with a 4% interest rate, basically.
So your payments would be about 40,500
So,
a year.
so the tax exempt leasing is the best deal. So we, okay, annually in advance or what do you recommend? Can we do the advance?
That's the one we usually do. We make a payment at the time of the lease. That's why we raise and appropriate that first payment.
Okay.
When the warrant gets accepted,
All right.
we usually do that one in advance.
This is making me feel, the 40,000 is
Make me feel a lot better. Yeah, me too.
So I think this
you're
is
safe.
something so do we have a warrant article drafted?
It's,
Because we're gonna have to approve
Drafted,
it.
we just gotta put the
We
money
have
in
to
it.
approve it
I
tonight.
have to finish drafting it. Tammy left it kind of half done until you
But
guys
we
made a motion.
need- We need to motion it and we need
Yes.
to approve the language.
Yes.
And we have to do it tonight because
Right.
Budget Committee needs it for
Right, I
tomorrow.
have a pack of the
So
warrants.
do you have
I have hers that she did, and I haven't put anything in it because I didn't know where you guys were gonna go with this.
well, now you don't.
Now I do.
Okay.
And this is all if we don't get the grant.
Right.
Well, what I think we can do
So
is
that needs to be worded in there
If we
also.
get the grant, we can.
Do we, yeah, but don't put the grant in there because you don't know if you're gonna get the grant.
Correct, right.
But you might in the informational piece that we put out to the public, you tell it that there's a potential to get 50% paid. Is it 50 or you might get the whole thing paid, right? We could get the whole thing paid by.
The chief was supposed to have dropped off the grant stuff. He's been
Well-
working on it.
Well, did the town, did the selectmen sign the grant?
No.
We can't, you can't send the grant in without our signature because they'll. I'm not,
He did his job.
Yeah, you're just the middle guy, I get it.
I'm just saying, we need,
Yeah.
the chair needs to sign that in order for it to be.
I've heard that, correct. I've heard those rules.
I do have a copy of the print screen that the fire chief did send up. It's blacked out, so I don't have a lot of information with the grant number or anything. He blacked it out, but it was a print screen that they sent in, and all it says is your submit your application result has successfully submitted. So I'm assuming they
Well,
did it
what'll
online,
happen
and it
is
was
if
on
we-
10/26.
And what federal, it was state, federal?
It
who they
is
applied to?
through FEMA.
FEMA. So they,
Buy grants through FEMA.
all right, so you put in with FEMA.
Yep.
So the feds don't, so what'll happen with a federal grant?
Yep.
When it gets awarded, the selectmen will have to sign it at that
Correct.
time. But that, I applied for federal grants at work and
You don't need to
The-
sign.
you don't need to, they don't need to be signed until the agency votes to accept
As far
it.
as I knew, the chief had followed all the rules.
No, he did it. It
It's-
sounds like he did. It
This-
sounds like he did.
It's fine.
The grant amount that he had applied for was $242,350, because there is a caveat he wrote up here that says the SCBA and fill stations, you're required to have an SCBA in grant for every seat. So everyone that's certified for fire has to have their own CBA back. So in this case, there's more packs than what we would be buying if we bought it through the lease.
We're buying less.
Right.
Okay.
If we get the grant, we're getting more because we can.
Right.
If we're going through the town, we're getting what we need.
Right.
Do we know when we hear back from the grant?
Next year sometime, I don't
So,
know.
but if this gets approved at town meeting, are we gonna buy the packs or are we gonna?
We're gonna buy the packs, and if we
No,
can,
you can't because you can't, usually they don't want you to get them until you get the grant.
Well-
It's a cart before the horse thing.
How long does it take when you order order them?
Those are the details I don't know. I don't have
I'm
those for you.
just telling you, you're gonna have to do a little more homework.
Right, correct.
So
Well, if it
purchasing is on pause until we find out the results from the grant.
Okay, so we need.
I would say yes.
So we need
Yes.
to, okay, so maybe just hold off buying them until we find out if we get.
Well, that's the other thing, you can pass the warrant. If we get the grant, the warrant will lapse anyway, the grant will take over if you get the grant. I don't know when they're gonna award the grant. I have no idea of knowing that.
Yeah,
we
I
can
don't,
actually wait till pretty much the end of the year to buy the.
Right.
I thought we needed these.
Well, no, they expire the following April.
So we'd have all the way to April. We have basically the whole year to April. We could wait till like literally right before the next
So
fiscal
I
year.
need-
Your
to do it.
leasing rates will be different at that
So
point.
I need language to read into a motion.
Okay, so if you're gonna go with tax exempt leasing, which you need to make a motion on that one,
All right, so let's make a motion to go into that and then make the motion.
I'll make a motion that for the warrant article, we use tax exempt leasing corp, which is offering, if we pay in advance, a 3.95% rate, annual rate, if we, and I recommend that we do the annual in advance,
subject to change.
subject to
Could be, it could
change.
be a year out from now.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I would just like to say that the average annual payment amount will be $40,503.42, give or take. Again, it could go up a little bit with
Subject to-
inflation.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
That's it?
here's the problem though, if that's what passes, that's all you can spend.
Oh, I know.
So that's not give or take.
Any, all right, so call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Now we need to make the language
Okay,
for the.
so you,
for the
so we
warrant.
need to decide if you wanna move that number up a bit, the 4503, because we don't know what the rate's gonna be. If we, let's say, we find out in August we didn't get awarded the grant, we start ordering, this rate is obviously, for now, it's gonna be a different rate come August. And I don't know what that rate would be. The trends are going up, not down, so
Yeah,
that
I
would be
know
my
that.
guess.
So what do you want to say,
Not to exceed.
well,
You can't do that, you have to be,
I say in the warrant, you put, I can tell you right now, it's not gonna go up over 45,000.
No.
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 So not to exceed 45,000.
you can't put not to exceed no more. You have to, monetary definitive.
All right, just say 45,000, put 45,000 in there in annual payment.
Because if we don't pay less than that, it doesn't matter, right?
Right.
As long as we don't pay more
Right.
than that.
Can't pay more than
So the warrant needs to read, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $45,000 for
the first
year
year.
of a 5-year lease purchase agreement for the purpose of leasing fire department SCBA equipment. Oh, she did it backwards. Okay, to see if they authorize the selectmen to enter into a 5-year lease purchase agreement for $45,000 for the purchase of leasing the fire department SCBA equipment, and to raise and appropriate the amount of $45,000 for the first year's lease payment. The first number should actually be 187.7, sorry.
All right.
So do you want me to read that correctly
Yeah,
again?
read it correctly.
Okay, for
And
the-
you're gonna have this all fixed for tomorrow night.
I will have this fixed for tomorrow night. So the warrant should read, to see if the town will vote to authorize the selectmen to enter into a 5-year lease purchase agreement for $187,700 for the purpose of leasing the fire department SCBA equipment, and to raise and appropriate an amount of $45,000 for the first year's lease payment. This lease agreement contains an escape clause.
My only thing is,
How can you have,
I wanna change something real quick. If we're gonna go 45,000 for 5 payments, we ought to make that amount the 45,000 times 5, the first amount.
you can't, no.
You can't.
You can't.
Okay.
Because you're gonna be paying less than 45.
That's why you have a, that's why you have an escape clause.
All right.
All right, and then,
So moved.
so moved.
Second?
For discussion, now we're on.
Now, here's my question. I'm just curious, when I ask this, you can have an escape, the packs are still good, it's just, okay. So I'm sure we just return it.
Yeah, we do escape clauses and.
I know we have to do it, I'm just asking. Okay. I don't have any more questions.
Anything else?
Do you guys want a motion that warrant?
I did.
You
So
did,
moved. I
you
said
just
so
said so
moved. She
moved.
seconded.
Oh, you did, okay.
Did you move it?
I said so moved. She seconded.
So,
I moved. Beth
DJ
seconded.
moved it, Beth seconded it.
All in favor?
Call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Recommend 3-0.
Okay.
So we gotta bring that warrant article to the budget committee tomorrow night.
Correct. I will have it retyped.
Any
And
more
that's,
discussion?
and then,
Do you know if,
Can you-
Nick knows when the deadline, when you'll find out when it's all?
I do not know when the
you
deadline
could
is for the grant.
probably go look on the FEMA website and they probably have dates of when they, and what I wanna say is, you're gonna need this for tomorrow night.
Yes.
Okay, so what you need for budget committee is the warrant. You're gonna need this comparison,
Yep, I've got it all right here.
and you're gonna need all the backup. You should make a packet for each
Okay.
budget committee member
Okay.
with all the details.
Okay. We can do that.
And
I'm gonna be busy
I
tomorrow.
throw a copy of the, I'll throw a copy in of the grant application to show that we are trying to put in for the grant too.
Yeah, I have that right, just that screenshot.
So
I'll put
we
that in
need,
there.
what we need, like 15, you probably should make a couple extras if there's any public here.
Okay. I can do that.
All right. Yeah, I'm good. Nothing. I was just telling Trinity she was gonna be busy tomorrow, but she ain't
She's
working.
not here. It's all on me.
I know. Just said.
They want a picture of what actually, do you have the leaflet from the company, Greg?
I've been trying to find one, and I will get something printed up. And I'm also gonna try to get the dealer to come out and with a real pack as well.
All right. Anything else?
I do not have any more discussion.
You, I would suggest, Greg, I mean, I probably strongly recommend that you come tomorrow night.
Oh, I was gonna be here.
Oh, no, I just,
Yep.
yeah, I just, I'll be here.
I was already planning on it last Saturday when I got yelled
Yeah, I'll
at.
even
so-
come. What time's the meeting tomorrow?
7.
No, maybe not. I got work in the morning. Why do you guys have the meeting so late?
Because the chairman calls it.
People
wanna
I
come-
start
I
early.
know you have a different.
I start early.
Yeah, so do I.
Thank you.
Do
very
you have
much.
anything else
Thank you.
tonight?
No, I was here for this.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Greg.
Thank you for doing all the.
All right, we'll do Gail Toby real quick. It is Gail, right?
It is Gail, thank you.
I wanted to make sure I didn't say
Thank
the
you
wrong
for
name.
putting me, fitting me in. It came to our attentions, the trustees of the library, that if we were designated as a historic building, we could get grants. Not in kind, but we could get grants to do projects at the library.
Okay.
So we need permission from the selectmen to be designated as...
application?
We have an application, we have it ready, but we have to have your okay to allow us to do this.
Okay, I'm
Because
okay
you're
with
the
that.
property owner.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Absolutely.
What is there any, because there always is, so, but is there any downside to making a historic building? Because you'll be limited to things you can do there, right?
Well, one good thing is
Like if
there's
you wanted to
not,
put an addition on or something like that?
but there's no room. We have
Well,
less than
I'm
half an
just-
acre.
yeah.
But you're right, you know, if you want to tear that building down, somebody said that to me today. If you wanted to tear the building down, sorry, you can't do that. So that would be probably a
We're not talking
downside.
about that, but I'm like, I think if you want to do any types of changes, you gotta follow some sort of protocol.
There isn't any room to do changes to that building because we're with,
I know, but
They're
you might,
fixing it with a new furnace.
Stuff,
That's all
you
we
have to stay with
yeah,
it.
trust me, there'll be capital improvements on that building within the next 10 to 20 years.
All right, like for the solar panels, I know
Yeah.
they talked about doing
So
solar
what I'm
panels.
saying is,
Would that be allowed?
yeah, you can't
I don't know
expand, but there's gonna be some work that's gonna need, like, for example, we did these windows and they all had to meet a certain criteria,
that's right,
and it cost more money.
yes.
So I'm just putting that out there,
Yes.
so there is a detriment.
It costs more money, but we would put a grant in for that and they'd help pay for it.
Right.
Yes, if you
That's
get,
what, all
if you
this
get the
stuff.
grant, you don't always get the grant.
No, but you know what? I have the feeling that, we have this feeling that there is money out there that they're not using. And
We've
they're-
never even
and the
tried
his-
for
and
it.
And the historic, New Hampshire Historic Division, they're kind of out putting feelers out to people. You know, you could be historic building because there's money available. So I'm not sure that a lot of places are putting
Oh,
out
I'm all for
applications
doing it,
for
I just wanted to ask the question.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure that a lot of people are taking advantage of this. So it came to our attention, so we thought, well, we can ask that. There are some things we could have done that it would save the town money. So, but you're right. Then there are some things we wouldn't be able to do.
I'd like to make a motion that we allow the library to apply and go ahead with permission to seek if we can make the library apply, well, they did apply, but give them the permission that we're okay of getting it designated a historic building.
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
That's it?
Okay,
Anything else?
we'll be back when we write a grant.
All right, awesome, thank you. Anything
Thank
else?
you.
All right, now we're gonna move on to our regular business.
Yep.
Real quick.
Back to regular business.
Let's get through this so we don't have to hold up any more people.
Okay.
We're doing good so far tonight. All right, so any assessing forms
Yeah.
and applications?
You want to read them and I'll just move them?
Yeah, if I can find them. She's got them in folders that,
Is it the ones that have the sign?
that would make most common sense to me. Okay, so we have administrative abatement, Tower View Court, map and lot 222, lot 33, sub lot 7, $968. Map 116, lot 47, for $54.
So moved.
Can I just ask what the one for the $964 was for?
Second?
All right, a discussion for the $964?
There's a bunch of them, there's 2 pages.
Oh. All right, I'm sorry.
There's 2 pages of them.
3 copies for the selectmen.
Oh, okay, that's the house that was turned down, that's why. I was wondering why it was being abated.
So there's only 3 of these that you're gonna do? Or you're saying there's 2 pages? Oh, these are all the same.
Oh, they are the same, okay.
No, they're all the same.
There's only 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then these are the ones you actually have. So here, there's this. These are the ones you gotta sign. So here's one for you. Here's one for you. Here's one for me. I would imagine this is one for you. All right. I have, all right, I'll do this. So I have 4 items in here. I'd like to make a motion to do administrative abatement on map 222, lot 33, sub lot 7. Total amount to be abated is $968. Then I'd also like to move map 116, lot 47. Total amount to be abated is $54. I'd also like to move map 109, lot 97, sublot 2. Total amount to be abated is $695.51. So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0.
And I have one notice of intent to cut. R.E. Ames Forestry, map 243, lot 10 and 11, and map 246, lot 9. The acreage of the lot is 122.65, and acreage of cut will be 100. The owner put up a bond, and the bond is attached to the amount of $3,500. I would like to move that approval.
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0.
So then,
You like your special pen so you can see? You're getting old, you need the light.
no, I don't know why.
I thought I had a light on it. Getting old, you need the light. Yeah, getting a light, you need a light so you can see. I'm gonna get old. I'm getting there.
You're getting there, DJ.
Yeah, I know. You have to remind me.
You're right behind us, bud.
I hope I'm just as smart as my elders when I grow up. Okay. Oh, we ain't got that much to really do, left to do we?
No, those attached to the back.
Oh, these are other, requests for snow removal.
That's, yep, another contract.
All right, so
Are they putting in a new home here?
that's the next stuff, right?
Well, we can do that with the other, this is the signatures. Okay, so
They want.
I have 2 manifests. I have,
They're really weird.
okay, so the first manifest, yep, that's the regular AP.
I'd like to make a motion to approve manifest 2018, number 27, in the amount of $460,284.45. I'm assuming that there's a school payment in here.
There is.
Payment to the school district in the amount of $400,000.
Second?
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0.
I have a second manifest here. I've been struggling trying to get the county treasurer's tax bill for the county warrant.
Yeah.
It took me a week to get a hold of anybody. They emailed it to me last night, so I had to run a second vendor run. It's due Monday, so it'll go out tomorrow, ASAP, certified mail to get there Monday. We never got the bill. I don't know where it went.
So you have 2 things on here, so I'll move,
Right.
2018, number 28, in the amount of $508,747.
Yes.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing
I
none-
have a question.
Yes,
So,
Yes, I'm-
Thornton Associates.
that's the final
uh,
payment.
Okay, so this is the second payment.
His final payment.
Wouldn't we, just putting it out there, wouldn't we hold off on this payment till we get the final product?
I'm going to hold the check until the final product's done, but I want it in the manifest to clear the PO. We're getting ready to shut down POs next week.
All right,
Yes.
so you're gonna hold the
I'm holding the
check?
check.
Okay.
Is that it? Any more? Any
If
more
you will-
discussion? Scott?
Nope.
Colin?
You will also sign the purchase order beneath that, which is actually for the county warrant. I have to have a purchase order signed. I got the email yesterday. It's attached right to it. So.
Okay. Any more discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Now it's cold. I think it's nice.
She was working on the refrigerator.
I have a couple of requests here. I wrote this request. It came to my attention the other day that the 7th and 8th grade basketball has been canceled. There was only 3 people that enrolled. So I'm requesting the board authorize the treasurer to give a refund to those 3 families that did sign up for basketball and give their money back.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
I think it's too bad we couldn't get some more
I know,
involvement.
The other teams are all there. It's just that one
They
group.
tried to like do
One
it with
age
other
group?
towns too, and they just couldn't.
Was it an age group or
I
something?
have an invoice for Northwood Recreation, and this is for the basketball jerseys from the other teams in the amount of $2,263.50. They had to order the shirts. We were kind of in that
Yeah, that's
transition.
fine, but isn't there, there's usually a letter that goes on top of this?
Yeah, I didn't do the letter. If you guys would just sign the invoice, that I'm okay with it, because we have to pay. You want the letter?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go type a letter?
Not right this second, but usually.
Type one and
I
they
know,
can
I
do
need
it.
to get that. I just got this. He sent it in.
When do
So.
you have to have it paid by?
Well, basketball is starting.
Oh,
Yeah, it's already started.
you already got the jerseys, right?
They had to get the jerseys, yes.
Okay, so
So,
we'll pay it, but we need,
do you want the cover letter?
And we can come in and sign it.
we come in and sign it.
Okay. That's okay. You sign the letter. If you just make a motion, it's okay to pay
I
it.
make a motion that we
That's fine.
approve the payment of $2,263.50 for reversible jerseys and polo shirts in the amount of $2,263.50
Second?
Any discussion?
to be, I wasn't done yet, to be taken out of the recreation revolving fund.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for.
Yes.
All right, any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Okay.
All right.
This is the snow removal contract. The board voted to use this vendor on an as-needed basis at the November 27th meeting. We just need a signature on the contract.
Okay. So we don't need to make another motion. We just need to sign.
Oh, yep. Is that just the chairman or everybody?
I think it's everybody.
It is. All of you.
Yeah, it's everybody.
Okay.
Okay. What else, Sandy?
I have a resignation for 2 positions from committee members. It's for Mr. John Boudreau. He's resigning from his position on Budget Committee and his position on the Rec Department due to being appointed as the road agent. So the board just needs to accept those.
I would like to accept Mr. Boudreau's resignations with regret, and glad he's decided to do the road agent.
Second?
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you
I
for.
was a little nervous when you said 2 resignations. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, who else?
Like,
I was like, who else?
But it's only.
I have some purchase orders. We have
Oh,
one
yeah,
for.
that's nice.
Can I bring something up that just, because we're talking finance?
Sure.
We need the year-end when are we gonna come in and sign the year-end encumbrance?
That's what I was going to discuss.
Because we
with you.
gotta, we have to do that before December 31st. We don't have to have a meeting,
You do. The auditor said it has to be at a public meeting and
Alright.
you have to sign it in motion.
We can do it at our next meeting.
Your next meeting is January.
This is
We
it.
don't have another meeting before December?
I'm
so
not coming. It's Christmas that
Oh,
day.
yeah.
can we have a meeting just
week?
to do encumbrances, and that's the only thing on the agenda?
You can do it on the 26th. You can do it.
Let's do it next-
27th.
Can we do it next Tuesday?
Can we do it next Tuesday?
The vendor run won't be until the week of
All right.
the 26th. That's our final vendor run that week.
Can't make a
So
motion
can we
without
do
the-
it, can we come in here, have like a half-hour meeting on the 26th?
Sure. Absolutely.
All right. But strictly a half hour, though. Okay.
And hopefully I won't be.
Not even 30.
Hopefully I won't be skiing that day.
You ain't gonna be skiing. I'll kick you in the leg.
Okay, so December 26th.
Only need
Are you
2.
taking the day off?
I'm off the whole week.
Do you guys want to do like 5
I
o'clock?
can do it anytime. What time can you do?
Anytime afternoon. I can do it the 26th. I'll probably have to work.
What means I take off the whole week means I'm in the White Mountain skiing.
Well, no, I'm just saying that way we can.
You guys are all off that week?
What was that?
We're
Right
working.
now, drinking, not skiing.
Wow.
I'm just saying I can do
I-
during the day,
I'm-
it's easier for you
I'm
to.
flexible.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. when
We'll
it comes.
figure it out when it comes.
We need to make
You
that.
only have to post it 24 hours in
24 hours.
advance.
So I have to post it Monday.
But you need to, we need to.
Not this Monday.
No, the 24th.
We need to, I wanted to make sure that was put out there because we need to sign the encumbrances.
Correct.
Okay, what else we got while we're?
Okay. So I have an Arbor Care Tree Service purchase order for $850 for Old Bonstead Road. It's over and above the first original quote he gave us.
So moved.
I have a purchase order for
Any-
Atlantic Safety Products.
Hold on. A call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
I didn't want to get too far ahead of us. It's okay. I have a real quick question with this though. Are we still within budget with this?
Within his budget.
Okay.
Okay. Atlantic Safety Products for $209.30 for safety sterile gloves for the fire department.
So moved.
Any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Burgess Repair for the fire department for coolant leak, $536.
So moved.
Call for the vote. All in favor? Motion passes 3-0.
I have a purchase order for Fred Bassett and Son for installing the shower unit at the Ridge Station for $1,200.
A second. So move.
I think we're gonna talk about that one.
Want to move
I
this
thought,
stuff?
I thought we were gonna talk
Well,
about
you
it.
gotta move it so we can talk about it. All
So moved.
Second.
right, what's the discussion?
So,
How much was it again?
it was 1,200.
It wasn't originally in the budget, but my opinion is maybe it should have been brought to us in the beginning before it got started. But they do need something where they didn't get the building, and I think at that price it is kind of reasonable. So that's just where I'm at with it. Should it have been in the budget? And should it have been brought to us before it got started? Yes, but I still think it's needed.
I just hate to spend money on a building we're hopefully not gonna be using, but I understand.
Well,
They need it.
Can I put something out there? Even if the safety complex passes,
You take a.
well,
month,
no,
a month.
it's gonna
Yeah.
take 18 months.
Yes.
It takes more than a year. So
So-
that, they are living,
For the
they're down,
next-
they're living down there, they're gonna be there for at least another year.
I mean, do I think it should have been done a different way? Yes, I do.
All right. I don't have any further comment.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
I have a purchase order for Beauregard Equipment. This is for antifreeze for the backhoe, $30.64.
So moved. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have a purchase order for Fillmore Industries for winter sand, $2,800.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
I have a purchase order for Obie's
Can I,
Electric.
order was placed by Steve? Steph? Who's Steph?
Order contact.
Order placed with, oh, okay, never
Placed
mind.
with Steph.
With,
Placed
thank
with.
you.
Okay.
You mean like a who's?
Obie's Electric for wiring the shop compressor to the panel box and to replace the broken GFI down the highway garage, $400.
So moved.
Second.
Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
I have an invoice for Granite State Critter Control, Chris Brown, his second round of beaver trapping. This one is Harvey Lake Road and Big Street, $475.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0.
I have a purchase order for Morton Salt for more winter salts, $6,500.
So moved.
Second.
Call for the vote. All in favor? All right, just a quick one. I know we're seeing a lot from the highway department. Are we still okay with their budget?
He's over budget in some areas, but salt and sand.
Overall, we're okay?
Overall.
That's all I wanted to know. I know I just see a lot of them. I just wanted to ask.
I have a quote though to remove all the logs, cut wood off the property up on Sherburne Hill Road where those trees are down and laying. And to remove the snapped and fallen spruce tree, the stump will stay. And he will chip it and we can use the chips for whatever the town wants to use for $2,785. It's just a quote.
I think we need to take it under consideration.
$2,700, do we have the money?
I don't know that. I didn't look.
We might have to wait. We can.
I mean, I like the fact,
Yep.
we need to get cleaned up.
Right.
That's not totally unreasonable.
No, it's reasonable, but we don't.
But
we
the
need to know
question is,
sure
I
we
need to know for
I
sure.
need to check the budget.
So let's take it under advisement, and we'll check the budget. We can always get back
Okay.
to that.
Right,
'Cause
because
that's-
we
I'd
did
like to get-
promise the people that have to look at that.
I'd like to get that cleaned up, and that's a reasonable
It's an
amount of
eyesore.
money.
It
And
is
if
an
we can
eyesore.
use the chips, maybe we can use the chips up
The ball field.
at the ball field or something for something, you know, to make it look
Okay.
nice up there or something.
I'd just like to point out that City of Rochester, they're hosting their spring household hazardous waste day collection. The grant is, I don't know what this is, Tammy left this. Grant application is due for February 1st, 2019.
Right, we
for the
have to
spring
apply
event.
for the grant to be
Okay.
a part of that.
So, I didn't know if the board wanted to do that.
So moved.
So move to do it because we do it every year. We have to basically ask to be a part of it. It's
Oh,
not-
okay.
So moved, and I'd like to give the chairman the authority to sign this on behalf of the board.
I was not aware we
Call
had
for
to
the
apply
vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
that. There was,
You could write the grant.
I guess there was a quote that was
no, that's
received by the former administrator, I have a note here from the interim, that they need to increase the warrant for the facilities by $10,500 to do the roof at Town Hall where it leaks right there where it marries the wall there.
Yep.
I guess she found a quote in there for $10,500.
The what wall?
Do
Again?
the roof at Town Hall.
Yeah, yeah, she did do that, yes.
Okay, so I don't believe that she put that in that warrant, and she's asking us to increase the warrant by
Who is?
$10,500. Tammy,
Okay, let's do
the
that. then.
facility committees,
So we need to bring that tomorrow night.
exactly.
What was on the list for this facilities committee?
I don't have that list.
So what you're gonna need tomorrow night for budget committee, this is what they're gonna ask for.
Yep,
They're gonna want the exact amount, and they're gonna wanna know what we're doing. Because they said, we're gonna get those questions, and if we can't answer them,
and I don't have that information, it's in the admin's office. I will see if I can find it in her stuff. I don't really want
is
to.
she out of state or something?
Yeah,
Oh, she's in Florida.
yeah, so I'll see what I can come up with. So that means we need to change the warrant article to 28,
I went- this is on.
Oh,
250.
we're at 10,000. I mean, I think
10,500.
They already approved it, so you have to get permission to amend it.
So we'll have the budget committee change it.
Can we amend that we could always amend that at town meeting too, can't we, to add extra money if we wanted to?
I don't think you can change it.
We should,
No, you can't,
You should
you,
go
no,
with the right
because you're
numbers.
changing, you're
Right.
changing the intent because
Right.
you
To
have
add
to say-
something else? Okay.
Add something else.
I wasn't sure. I know there's
So,
certain
okay.
things you can and cannot do.
So we need to, you're coming tomorrow night, right?
Yes. Do I have to?
it won't be a long meeting tomorrow night,
It'll be, yeah,
will it? I don't think it'll be long.
28,250.
I can see it going long.
Especially
We
with
can?
Yeah, 'cause they're gonna talk about
the safety complex all night.
no, they're gonna talk about, school thing.
Oh, there was so much participation at that meeting.
Let's hope
No,
we
the
get it.
resource officers, they're gonna talk
What do I
about,
want?
That's
no,
what
they're gonna secure the school.
Yeah, well, no, they said that because nobody came, that means that everybody.
And the only other thing I have, and this is, you don't even have to do this tonight, the TA and I had me redo my job description. It's basically back to what it was in 2008 and 2010.
Okay.
And the board needs to approve that, based on the wage study and stuff, because
So
that's
moved.
originally where
Well,
it
you gonna
was.
read it?
The same thing as 2008 and 10.
So
And
moved.
Tammy.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote, all in favor?
It's too much to read 3 pages.
Oh, I know what it says.
I know what it says. All right, so what else we got? Sign it?
We just have the inspector's report from the Department of Labor, but we have the letter that you've already addressed, so.
So we have nothing else for signatures?
I would like to, I would like
You want to
to,
read that in the record?
I would like to, did you get,
Thank you.
you mean accept the report?
Yep.
Okay.
Read the record.
So, for the record, we have a finalization of the Department of Labor investigation, and the report has been received. I make a motion that we accept the report as submitted.
Second?
Any discussion? Seeing none, I call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Is there any more discussion that we need to bring? Any more signatures?
No,
I have a question, because on that thing, there's appears to be a $350 fine in, I guess we reach out and see if our counselor can, I guess we call, he was gonna reach out to you, right? He was gonna get back to you? All right.
He's a good friend of ours, we have his card.
Yes. He said he'd call me within the next day or two.
Okay,
And he was leaving.
all right. So let's hold off on doing that until we get back from
Okay,
him.
so
Yep.
do we have any?
I have something, I don't know if it's non-public or not. We had an issue with a warrant, but then it got abated, and then there was a supplement. And then that supplement was wrong, so it had to be abated. Okay? That
Let's,
abatement is now wrong.
okay, let's
I just want to let you know.
hold off on that.
Yep, I just want to let the board know.
Okay, so do we have any selectmen's reports?
Yeah,
John needs to go non-public.
Yes, I know.
yes, I have, I meant to get this, and I'd like to find out. It's my understanding that I had discussed this, and I don't know, I'd like to find out, because if we can, I'd like to move forward it. But it's my understanding that the selectmen have the authority to approve Keno
Without going to vote.
without going to vote.
Okay, I can check with the attorney on
Could
that.
you check the attorney, because I don't know, what's the pleasure of the board? You want to put this on as a warrant article?
I think if we can do it without putting it as a warrant article, why wouldn't we do it? It's not costing us.
Could you
anything.
find, yeah, because, I mean, we should give,
Just
we
allowing
should give
them
the
to be able to have it.
restaurants the
That's all it is.
opportunity if they want to have Keno. Yeah.
Well, that's up to the police and the businesses.
What do you mean cost you money?
The police department.
You get a lot of people coming into play, and they bring garbage in from Manchester, Nashville, or wherever.
What are you talking about?
Trash,
Police department.
drunks, driving home from bars and stuff,
It's
Playing
Keno.
those machines. Yeah, playing those machines.
getting drunk and playing the machines and then driving off. But
I don't know, well, I'll read this into a record. Recent survey conducted by UNH Survey found a majority of Keno, 603 retailers, 75% report offering the games has attracted new customers to their establishments. More than half the Keno 603 retailers indicate they like the idea that Keno 603 sales fund full-day kindergarten in New Hampshire. Most Keno 603 retailers report offering the game has had a positive effect on their customers' experience. Nearly 50% of the Keno retailers report an increase in food and beverage sales in their businesses up to 10%. A clear majority of 81% of the Keno 603 realtors say the plan to continue offering the game in their establishments. So
I think it gives our businesses the opportunity.
it's really up to the
it's
business
up to
whether
the
or not they
business whether they
want it.
want to do it.
Sell marijuana too, that doesn't cost for us.
Well, yeah, we got a brewery in town now, why not?
Hey, Massachusetts made $2 million in a week off of one shop.
There's 3 breweries in town, where you been?
Massachusetts
There
made.
isn't.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
Wow, I'm talking about. Yeah, you're right.
Massachusetts.
There's 3. I thought there was only 2. There's Outhouse and Johnson's. Where else is there?
There's another one.
His garage.
All right.
Did you see what Moonshiners last week?
There's probably a couple stills too. I don't know about.
Any more? Do you have anything else, Scott?
No, but I'd like to, if the board's okay, I'd like to
Okay,
go forward
checking
with
on
this.
that. Do you have anything?
Do that.
Yes.
No,
Take the brochure.
I was distraught to find out that the Christmas tree was vandalized, though.
Yeah.
It looks like it's lit.
No, it was
It was
vandalized.
vandalized. Someone, they
Sometime over
broke
the
the timer
weekend.
and
Sometime
they
over the
cut all the
weekend.
lights. I did notice though that looks like part of the tree in the back is dying.
Probably.
I didn't know if like, is there been a thought about planting another tree so eventually when that tree does die, we have another tree?
We could. Think about it.
You know what I mean? I
That's
don't know.
something we can consider.
I just noticed that the back is like
Well,
dead.
why
Definitely
don't
something we
you?
can consider.
What, isn't it? Yeah, but why don't we take a look and see what it is? You might
Yeah,
just
I don't know,
require a little
yeah.
tree trimming.
Or some.
What do you want to replace it? Are you saying you want to
No,
replace it?
no,
I'm
no.
saying should we plant
Plant another
another
one
tree
for
so
when that one
eventually when
does
that
die.
tree dies, we have a tree
Gotcha.
that's not a Charlie Brown tree
Okay.
that has time to grow.
Anything else?
I don't want to cut down a
We
tree.
can definitely check into that. Anything else? No. All right, I have a couple. I'd like to say thank you to whoever decorated the town hall.
Amy Hannavan did it
It looks
herself for
really
2
nice.
days.
Looks really nice. And then the other thing I'd like to say is, I know we moved the town hall around a little bit as far as offices, and it seems like the employees are loving it. My only thing that I would like to see done is when I was in the office and talking to Diane, it looks like when they moved when they painted the office that they're in, they never moved any of the filing cabinets. So now that it's just random paint all over the place, so it looks very unprofessional.
Do we
When
have that
when you're
can?
standing at that window talking to her, you have white, brown, blue, and brown again over here.
It's been that way for 8 years.
So can we possibly? Well, you never noticed it because the door was shut. Now the door's being
Paint or
opened.
get a big poster.
Can we have Steve Bailey possibly get with the prisoners and maybe set them up to paint that?
Okay.
Because I think buying the paint, I know it's not in the budget, but if
But
we
do
can
we
get
have
them.
the can left over?
It's not even that big of a room. I mean, I don't mind buying paint if we can get the police, the prisoners to do it, and they love coming here to do that stuff. So I don't think it'll be that big of a deal.
Okay.
I mean,
Board okay with that, all three of
you
you?
guys okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
You okay?
Yeah,
It looks awful.
I'm all for moving a file cabinet to paint the wall.
All right,
Well, you can see
No,
where
I
it wasn't
understand.
moved now. You can see where it wasn't moved. I think if we're gonna have that door open where people can see, let's make that room a little bit more presentable.
can I actually make a motion
Sure.
on something else when you're done?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman? Okay.
I'll go back to you. I'm done. That's it.
Oh,
That's all I had.
So, I would like to make a motion that, if we need to, if we could, get a warrant put on to allow Keno at the annual town meeting, if we could get that warrant, because I'd like to move that, because they also can have a lottery representative come out here to tell us what we need to do to put the warrant on. So, I'd like to move that,
If we need a warrant, put it on.
yeah.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Do we have anything else? Any more board selectmen comments? Oh, one more, sorry.
Public comment.
One more board thing I'd like to bring up. I received this letter from Mrs. Colby about a resident plowing snow across the road to the new Mary Waldron's boat
Why
launch.
don't we forward that to police department?
Okay, we need to forward a cease and desist letter to
I would like to give a cease, I'd like to give a cease and desist letter to
One Young's Crossing, it looks like. Oh, sorry. Sorry. No, I thought that was the address of it.
That's it, no plowing your driveway.
He totally ratted him up.
Do you happen to know the address to that house?
It's the guy who lives at the very top of that road. No,
Can we find out who's
he was
doing it
told
and
last year.
issue a cease and desist? And could you also forward that to the PD to have them address it?
Well, they would be the ones to issue the cease and desist, or do you want the board to?
Well, no, I want, yeah, but I want a cease and desist.
Here's your copy.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I almost forgot. I'm glad I thought I remembered. All right, so now do we have any more citizens forum? Anybody want to speak? Speak, anybody? No, all right, now we're gonna go into non-public again.
Get a motion to go into non-public under
We're done
RSA
with you. We're good with you.
Just gotta record this though.
Make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A:3, paragraph 2. Is this personnel?
Yes.
Personnel, section in paragraph A.
Roll call, Donald Hush and I.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
Scott, aye.
We are now in non-public.
I'd like to make a motion to come out of non-public.
Second.
Roll call, Donald Hush and I.
Aye. Scott Breyer, sorry, Beth.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
Okay, 3-0. I'd like to make a motion to seal the non-public minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
I'd like to make a motion to make a job offer to a John Courier. I recommend starting pay at the labor grade 5, step 11, which is $15.53 per hour.
For 6 months.
But we can just do that, and then
Second.
in 6 months we can bring that up.
Pending background check.
Yeah.
Pending full background check and driving record.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. You want to make that second motion allowing her to use a credit card?
I'd like to make a motion to allow Sandy to use the credit card and to immediately take the background checks up to the New Hampshire Department of Safety Criminal Records to expedite the process.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Sandy, will you be contacting him so we can come in and get that stuff done? That way you can.
Done.
John was going in the morning.
All right.
All right, any other
Hopefully they
business
can
to
do
come
both.
before the board? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Do you need this back?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are now adjourned.
Let the record